The White House doing some serious damage control after HHS Secretary Javier Becerra defended President Biden's plan to push vaccines by going door to door.
The federal government has had to spend trillions of dollars to try to keep Americans alive during this pandemic. So it is absolutely the government's business. It is taxpayers' business if we have to continue to spend money to try to keep people from contracting COVID and helping reopen the economy.
Becerra is now trying to walk back that comment, claiming he was taken wildly out of context. Jesse, yeah, that's a way to convince people to get vaccinated, is the government's going to show up at your front door.
Well, luckily no one saw that because it was on CNN. And nice. I have an idea. I don't have good ideas often, but this is actually a very innovative idea. Tell me if this works. If you're worried about people that aren't vaccinated, why don't you create an app? You push a button, and then you have a doctor come to your house and jab you. I mean, they have history of building websites. Joe Biden knows how to build a website, remember? He should be able to do this. Why do they have to go door to door? They don't have to go door to door. If someone comes on my property, not always a good result. And I'm a lightweight. Think about the people in Texas. I would not want to have that duty to put on a uniform and have a syringe and go knocking on randos' doors. That is a recipe for disaster. And Biden doesn't even know the HHS secretary's name. You see, he forgot it at the podium today. And I just think this is, again, the government trying to go where it doesn't belong. And you don't even need to get 100% vaccination. You just need to kill the virus. And right now, the virus is almost dead. More people are getting shot dead over the weekend on July 4th than are dying from COVID.
People are, to your point, people are going door to door and shooting people.
Seriously. Yeah. Remember Biden? I used to have that little card here. He used to keep it with the body count of COVID-19. Yeah. He needs a new card.
Yeah, he does.
Street violence. Maybe he could reference that next time.
Dana, if you include people who have natural immunity from COVID, it's more than 8 out of 10 Americans have immunity. It's about 80–85%. Why the panic?
Well, one of the things I would say to Javier Becerra is that you're not in California anymore. I mean, there's a different situation now, and you have to choose your words carefully. Like, who in the world looked at all the coverage about vaccine hesitancy and vaccine passports and concluded the best thing we could do today is announce that we're going to go door to door with vaccines? But they also didn't clarify it, right? So the left is saying that the conservatives are blowing this up and exaggerating it, but yet at the same time, the media can't explain what the administration really means by that. Is it going door to door with information, like a leaflet?
Right.
Well, okay, well, maybe that's fine, but is it going to door with... I don't think it's going to door to door.
We don't know. I know New Jersey's going...
They were not specific, and you have to choose your words with caution and sensitivity if you were going to deal with this issue and get people vaccinated or get them the information that they need so that they can make their own decision.
Because, Jessica, it isn't political. If you look at the various groups of people who are hesitant about getting vaccinated, and this is a White House that has no soft sell, none, and that's what it takes.
Well, I agree with Dana. Yesterday, when I talked about this topic for the first time, I was looking it up fiercely to be like, okay, are we getting more information? Because I think that's a good thing. Like when people go, grassroots campaigning and, vote for so-and-so, here's a leaflet. I didn't think that they were showing up to actually jab people, but I wanted to know also if they were going to be tracking names in all of this, because we do know, for instance, that the government tracks broad numbers about people who have HIV/AIDS, let's say, but they don't have the specific names of that. Obviously, there's a rich history of terrorizing people in this country who had AIDS going back to the 80s. So more information, more specificity on that. But it is a little bit of a political problem. When you look at the states, so 18 or 19 states reached that 70% goal by July 4th. They were all blue states. When you look at where the Delta variant is really having its heyday, it's in red states. And 99.5% of people who are passing away from COVID-19 right now are people who are unvaccinated. We still do have more work to do. I can't say like, oh, it's no big deal. Street violence is a big deal, but COVID is still... it's a thing.
Greg, go.
Well, I mean, this is the problem, is that with this new variant, this could never end. Technically, it could go on forever. Viruses, every year now, we're primed to see any outbreak as COVID-2, COVID-3, the reckoning, and the government and the media will exploit it because they can't help themselves. Because if they see any inroad for power or control, they're going to use it. So this is has amazing potential for controlling the population. And that's what worries me. I think, the Democratic We have two parties. The Democrats are always for the solution of big government and intruding into your life. And Republicans have always been about the individual, about, we're rugged individuals. Thank you very much. Stay off my porch. We can actually work together with this, but I honestly don't understand this. It's like if you're just showing up with the leaflets, go. Now, you're wasting people's time. But if you actually said, you know what, we're going to be driving around your neighborhood, and we're going to knock on your door, and we're going to have, a vaccine van. I had one of those. Then but that's fine. But I think that, my concern is that this thing could keep going, and they could keep creating problems, potential problems that never really materialize, and that'll keep us scared and enthralled.
You're already seeing it. Los Angeles County, you've been vaccinated, wear a mask. Absurd.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.